Hello Barcelona family, like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barcelona. In this video, we are going to talk about a huge recruitment coup for Barcelona, but before that, we need to address other topics that are also very important for our beloved club. Let's move on to the first piece of news that will make the Camp Nou vibrate and confirms the unwavering ambition of our Barcelona to continue building a dream team, a team that will bring us back to the place we deserve, at the summit of world football. The information we receive from the circles closest to the elite of English football is the kind that makes us truly dream of the next magical nights in our stadium and the reconquest of Europe. Alejandro Garnacho wants to wear the jersey of our club, and what's even better and fills us with immense confidence in the direction we are taking, our flamboyant coach, Hansi Flick, has given his green light, his total blessing for this operation to materialize. This is a coup of authority in the market, a clear signal that we will give our all next season and that we will settle for nothing less than excellence in every position. Manchester United is undoubtedly going through one of the most delicate, if not turbulent periods in its recent history. The painful defeat in the Europa League final, played at the mythical San Mamés, left the team not only without a much-desired trophy but, what is even more serious and decisive for the future of its young promises, out of any European competition for the 2025-26 season. This situation has set off all the alarms at Old Trafford, causing a real earthquake at the club, and as expected, could lead to a significant exodus of talent in the next transfer market. And it is here, in the midst of this storm, that our Barcelona appears as the beacon, the dream destination for young figures with immense projection. Alejandro Garnacho, one of the most promising gems of Manchester United, has opened the door to a possible change of scenery after a complicated season on a collective level and bittersweet on a personal level. The Argentine international was visibly frustrated after the defeat in the Europa League final, a match where his role was much less than he had hoped. To this disappointment is added the worrying performance of the Old Trafford team in the Premier League, where they finished the championship in a disappointing 16th place. For a young talent with his ambition, this lack of European perspective and collective success is a determining factor. The bad moment of the historic English club has generated a climate of uncertainty that affects even the most promising young talents. Garnacho, despite being one of the most promising pieces of the project, does not feel fully valued nor with the continuity that his talent demands. The lack of minutes in key moments, combined with the team's stagnation in the domestic league, could accelerate his departure in the next summer market. At just 20 years old, the Madrilenian has already shown that he has the level to shine at the highest level, both in England and in European competitions, and his desire to come to Barcelona is confirmation that he is looking for a winning project and a philosophy of play that enhances his qualities. That a player of Alejandro Garnacho's stature, audacity, and potential, with his electricity and ability to overflow, expresses his desire to change scenery and his openness to a departure is news that we must celebrate effusively. Nothing is more important for our club than having footballers who feel a genuine excitement, a deep desire to wear the jersey of our Barcelona, to be an active part of our glorious philosophy of play, and to fight for our colors at the camp. It is a true privilege to have players who choose our club over other great powers, and Garnacho's interest is a clear indicator of his desire to join our ambitious project. The arrival of Hansi Flick on the bench of our Barcelona has undoubtedly been a breath of fresh air for all of Barca, an injection of energy, and a resounding demonstration of the ambition we have to become dominant in Europe again. One of the most exciting pieces of news regarding this possible operation is that our flamboyant coach has given his green light, his total approval for the recruitment of Garnacho. Flick wants him expressly in his squad, considers him a profile that fits perfectly into his vision of play. This synergy, this perfect connection between the sports management and the coach, is absolutely crucial for the success of any sports project. It demonstrates that there is a unified vision, that we are working as a team with cohesion and without fault, and that decisions are made thinking only of the collective good and the maximization of long-term performance. Flick, with his vast experience in elite clubs like Bayern Munich and his philosophy of intense and dominant offensive play, sees Garnacho as an ideal profile for the scheme he wants to implement at Barcelona. His ability to overflow, his speed, his audacity in one-on-one situations, and his skill in penetrating the box fit perfectly with what our new coach is looking for in our attack. From Italy, one of the clubs that has not lost sight of the winger's situation is Naples. The southern team is looking for a revulsive for its offensive front after a season where it managed to qualify for the Champions League and where it could be crowned Serie A champion on the last match day. The Neapolitan managers see in Garnacho a unique market opportunity, a talented youngster with room for growth. Moreover, his profile would fit perfectly into the vertical game proposed by the Italian team. If the move materializes, the Argentine could land in Serie A, where several compatriots have already left their mark. Naples is ready to present a formal offer, and the footballer does not rule out a new departure far from England. This, far from worrying us, confirms Garnacho's quality and that our interest is fully justified. If a club as ambitious as Naples wants him, it is because he is a top-level player. That Flick, a coach of his caliber and demand, has given the green light for his incorporation is further proof that we are facing a footballer who can make a difference in our team, not only in the present but especially in the future. A winger with his unbalance, his ability to generate superiorities, and his youth would be an invaluable asset for our attack, multiplying our offensive options. He would give us that extra spark, that unpredictability, and that constant threat that we so badly need to unbalance the most closed and complex defenses. His tactical versatility would also allow him to adapt to different roles in the attack, offering Flick very valuable flexibility in creating his lineups. His incorporation would not only add quality but also that bold and winning mentality that we love so much. The second piece of news concerns a very important decision in our beloved club. Attention, Barcelona fans, prepare yourselves for news that will make the camp vibrate and confirms the unwavering ambition of our Barcelona to continue building a dream team, a team that will bring us back to the place we deserve, at the summit of world football. The information we receive from football representation circles is the kind that makes us truly dream of the next magical nights in our stadium and the reconquest of Europe. Enzo Barrenechea has been offered to our club by his own representatives, and the Argentine gem wants to wear the jersey of our club. What's even better and fills us with immense confidence in the direction we are taking, our flamboyant coach, Hansi Flick, has given his green light, his total blessing for this operation to materialize. This is a coup of authority in the market, a clear signal that we will give our all next season and that we will settle for nothing less than excellence in every position on the field. Football, the sport we love so much, always has surprises in store, and this one is the kind that places us once again at the center of the global stage. With the transfer market in full swing, major clubs like ours are always attentive to the opportunities that may arise, and this was an unbeatable opportunity. Enzo Barrenechea, the talented Argentine midfielder who belongs to Aston Villa and has just had a notable season on loan at Valencia, where he made his mark as a defensive midfielder with great physical deployment and good tactical reading, has been offered to our Barcelona by his own representatives. This fills us with joy and hope. Atletico de Madrid, for example, has intensified its search for a defensive midfielder, and everything indicates that Barrenechea is now the profile that most appeals in the offices of the Metropolitano. The need to strengthen the midfield has become even more important given the possibility that their key midfielder will change scenery this summer, and the Argentine has positioned himself as a top-level candidate for Diego Simeone's team. His performances have attracted the attention of several teams in the league, but it is the Colchonero team that, due to budget and technical profile, seemed in a position to conclude the operation with more speed. But this is where our Barcelona comes into play with the player's will. That a player of Enzo Barrenechea's stature and projection, with his youth, recovery ability, and game vision, expresses his desire to change scenery and, above all, his desire to wear the jersey of our Barcelona, is news that we must celebrate effusively. Nothing is more important for our club than having footballers who feel a genuine excitement, a deep desire to wear the jersey of our Barcelona, to be an active part of our glorious philosophy of play, and to fight for our colors at the camp. It is a true privilege to have players who choose our club over other great powers, and Enzo's interest is a clear indicator of his desire to join our ambitious project. The English club, owner of his rights, would be open to negotiating due to the pressure exerted by compliance with financial regulations, which could facilitate a transfer without having to pay an exorbitant sum, an ideal situation for our club. The arrival of Hansi Flick on the bench of our Barcelona has undoubtedly been a breath of fresh air for all of Barca, an injection of energy, and a resounding demonstration of the ambition we have to become dominant in Europe again. One of the most exciting pieces of news regarding this possible operation is that our flamboyant coach has given his green light, his total approval for the recruitment of Enzo Barrenechea. Flick wants him expressly in his squad, considers him a profile that fits perfectly into his vision of play and the philosophy he wants to imprint on the team. This synergy, this perfect connection between the sports management and the coach, is absolutely crucial for the success of any sports project. It demonstrates that there is a unified vision, that we are working as a team with cohesion and without fault, and that decisions are made thinking only of the collective good and the maximization of long-term performance. Flick, with his vast experience in elite clubs like Bayern Munich and his philosophy of intense and dominant offensive play, sees Barrenechea as an ideal profile for the scheme he wants to implement at Barcelona. His ability to recover balls, his tireless physical deployment in the center of the field, his good tactical reading to cut plays, and his ability to initiate play from the back fit perfectly with what our new coach is looking for in our midfield. Meanwhile, Betis, Villarreal, and Valencia themselves are closely following Barrenechea's situation, although their options are more limited in economic terms. For Simeone, the recruitment of Barrenechea responds not only to a sporting need but also to a personal interest in adding Argentine talent to his squad. The connection with players from his country has been a constant throughout his tenure on the Rojiblanco bench, and this move would follow that line. This only reinforces the idea that we are facing a top-level talent, coveted by great clubs and demanding coaches. That Flick, a coach of his caliber and demand, has given the green light for his incorporation is further proof that we are facing a footballer who can make a difference in our team, not only in the present but especially in the future. A midfielder with his defensive ability, his intelligence for recovery, and his youth would be an invaluable asset for our midfield, offering the balance we so badly need. He would give us that solidity in the midfield, that ability to shield our defense, and that first ball exit that we value so much. His tactical versatility would also allow him to adapt to different roles in the center of the field, offering Flick very valuable flexibility in creating his lineups. He is a player capable of interpreting different systems and adapting to the needs of each match, something crucial in modern football. His incorporation would not only add quality and physical power but also that hard-working and winning mentality that we love so much. As a passionate Barcelona fan, one of those who lives every match with their throat on the verge of bursting, my opinion on this possible arrival is resolutely, absolutely, indisputably favorable, although we know we must be cautious until it is official. The possibility that Enzo Barrenechea wears the jersey of our Barcelona is the kind of recruitment that will make us take a brutal leap in quality in the midfield, that will give us the excitement of competing for all titles with guarantees, and that will bring us closer once again to the much-desired Champions League, the one we want to lift again and again. Attention, Barcelona fans around the world, prepare yourselves for news that, while it may cause an inevitable pang in the heart and stir the most sensitive fibers of our Barcelona sentiment, demonstrates the greatness, strategic vision, and unwavering philosophy of our beloved Barcelona. We are talking about the imminent and, why not say it, somewhat painful departure of one of our most promising gems from La Masia, the young and talented midfielder, Marc Casado. The information we have received from the club's offices is clear, concise, and unequivocal. Barcelona is actively preparing for his transfer, and all indications are that his most likely destination will be Arsenal of the always demanding Premier League. An operation that, despite the departure of a talent nurtured in our incomparable La Masia, proves to be in every respect a favorable and strategically intelligent maneuver for the short and long-term interests of our club. The departure of a homegrown talent, Marc Casado, on his way to the elite of the Premier League, is an inevitable reality of modern football, and even more so in a club with a La Masia philosophy as deeply rooted and successful as ours. That young talents, once they reach a certain level of maturity and projection, sometimes decide to seek new challenges, new opportunities to establish themselves in the elite. Marc Casado is an eloquent example. This young midfielder has demonstrated his immense value, undeniable potential, and exceptional commitment in each of the lower categories of our Barcelona, and his innate quality, game vision, and leadership ability have not gone unnoticed by the great clubs of Europe. However, at a crucial moment in his career and with the ambition that characterizes today's young footballers, the player has made a decision that, while it deeply saddens us as supporters, we must respect with our heads held high. He has personally informed the Barcelona management of his firm desire to change scenery and embark on a new adventure. Arsenal, under the direction of Mikel Arteta, a coach who knows very well the La Masia football and the demands of the Premier League, has been very attentive to Casado's contractual and personal situation and has positioned itself very clearly and decisively as the main candidate to secure his services. There is also the manifest interest of Manchester United, another historic giant of English and world football, which only confirms the quality, projection, and enormous potential of our young footballer. But Arteta's team is today at the forefront of the race, and this is a significant signal. Arsenal is prepared to pay our Barcelona the sum of €65 million for Casado's transfer. Pause for a moment, Barcelona fans, and reflect on the magnitude of this sum. €65 million for a player who, while he is a bright promise, is still in the full phase of consolidation in the first team. It is an absolutely extraordinary sum, irrefutable proof of the excellence, transcendence, and training capacity of our La Masia, a true reference at the global level, and at the same time a demonstration of the future vision and negotiating skill of our management. We know that losing a footballer entirely trained at home, who has grown under our values, our philosophy of play based on touch and good taste, and who has dreamed of triumphing at the Camp Nou, always hurts. It is an intrinsic part of our identity that, for a moment, detaches itself. However, the greatness of our Barcelona also lies, and perhaps more importantly in the present, in its ability to constantly reinvent itself, to adapt to the new times of football, and to make difficult decisions when they are absolutely necessary for the supreme good of our club. The player's will is a determining and non-negotiable factor in these cases, and in our club, the premise is clearer and firmer than ever. No one at the club thinks of retaining a player who has expressed his desire to leave. This is a sign of deep respect for the footballer as a person and professional, and at the same time an eminently pragmatic decision that avoids situations of discontent or instability that could end up negatively affecting the harmony of the entire locker room and, consequently, the collective performance of the team. The arrival of Hansi Flick on the bench of our Barcelona has been, from the first day, a breath of fresh air for the entity, an injection of unmeasured ambition, and a clear determination to build a truly winning team, capable of competing for all titles. Our flamboyant coach, while recognizing the undeniable talent of Casado and having at some point expressed his desire to count on him in his squad, has perfectly understood the situation and has given his green light for his departure. This is undoubtedly a sign of Flick's tactical intelligence, strategic vision, and temperance, who prioritizes above all the harmony of the locker room, the absolute commitment of each member, and the sustainability of the long-term project. A coach of Flick's caliber and pedigree, with his track record and experience in the elite of world football, needs players who are 100% with his project, who feel the badge with non-negotiable passion, and who are ready to give their all for Barcelona in every training session and every match. If a young footballer, no matter how promising and talented, expresses his desire to seek a new path, to embark on a new adventure far from the camp, it is an unequivocal signal that his cycle in our club may be coming to an end. Retaining him against his will would not be beneficial for any of the parties involved. The discontent, however small, of a single player can generate a negative dynamic, a crack in the locker room atmosphere, and Flick, with his vast experience in managing high competition groups, knows that group cohesion, unity, and shared ambition are fundamental to achieving the most ambitious objectives. The fact that Barcelona has thrown in the towel in retaining Casado should not be interpreted as a defeat or lack of interest, but as a demonstration of pragmatism, institutional maturity, and deep respect for the footballer. It means that the club is completely aligned with the player's will and that, instead of forcing an uncomfortable and potentially harmful situation, it focuses on obtaining the maximum possible economic benefit from his departure. The €65 million that Arsenal is willing to pay for Casado's transfer is a simply spectacular sum in the current market, an amount that allows us to inject a significant and much-needed quantity of capital into our coffers. This money, Barcelona fans, can be reinvested intelligently and strategically in other positions that Hansi Flick considers a priority for his scheme, in the recruitment of proven talents that fit perfectly with the coach's philosophy, or in the continuous improvement of our infrastructures, such as the completion of our majestic new camp. It is a win-win operation for all parties. Leave your opinion in the comments.